Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Learn Stata Now, where we apply statistics for social science. In today's video, we are diving into something fundamental yet powerful, how to recode variables in Stata. Often, when working with survey data or census datasets, variables come in a form that is not ready for analysis. You will find a categorical variable or wide age range that needs to be regrouped or grouped. That is where the recode command becomes your best friend. But then I'm going to educate you on the two ways to approach it. First, by applying the commands, and second, by using the Stata command window. We are using sample data set from the Ghana's population and housing census for our analysis or data cleaning. We first start off with recoding categorical variables. So in our case, we are going to use marital status. So if you have a data set, a survey data set of this form or population and housing census data set, and you're looking for a variable like marital status, there are several ways you can approach it. First, you can look for marital. Okay, so I can type something like this, marital, then you have the variable describe the marital status. Yeah, describe. You can also search for the variable marital using the search bar, and you can clearly see the variable name popped out. So these are the ways you can search for your variable if you have a large data. So if you are dealing with large data set that have several variables, I think this is the easiest way to search for your variables. So first have to look at the nature of the marital status. So to do that, you tabulate marital status. So you type tab in short, and then followed by the variable name. Marital status variable name is P10. So tab, so you have the indicators that represent the marital status. See, there are several indicators that represent marital status, and it varies from context to context. In the Ghanaian context, there are several forms of marriage, and those who are not married, you have also those who are separated, those who are divorced, widowed, or those who have never married before, or you can call them those who are single. You can label list. You can label list, but before you label list, traditionally you want to describe the variable to appear as this form, all right? So that is one way you can also describe the variable. So you type label list and then copy the value label right here, and you have the code together with a value label that makes it easy for you to recode your variable if you are typing out your codes. So we have the code typed out already. First, you type the command recode. So that's a command for recoding variable. You type the command recode followed by the variable name, and then you recode the variable in the form that best suits you. In our case, we want it as married and those who are not married. But it depends on the interest of your research or the study that you are conducting. If you are interested in a case where you are focusing on those who have civil marriage or just traditional marriage, you also try to recode it to suit that. But in our case, we are looking at married and not married. So we grouped those who are married in a form of marriage as from 1 to 5 as married. So from 1 to 5 equals 1, should be coded as 1 and represents married. And then from 6 to 9 also coded at 0. Now we code married as married, those who are married as 1 because that is what we are interested in. You can choose to code it as 0 if you are interested in those who are not married for your study. Right. So after you type out this command, grouping it as married and unmarried, you type comma followed by generating a new name for it. So we want to generate a name that is suitable for us to easily search for. So here we type marstat. All right, after that, you enter your command. So after you run it, you want to check whether the variable has been coded well. So you tabulate it again, and the new variable. So tab the new variable, and you can clearly see that it's properly coded. You want to see whether the codes are also properly represented as you coded it. So you type no label in addition to the tab, and you enter, and you can see the variable, the indicators without the labels. You can also check the nature of a new variable by typing label list. Label list, you copy this, put it there, label list, and you can clearly see that the codes matches exactly the labels. But traditionally, you want to type describe to make sure that the value label is what you put here for the label list. Yes, so that is it for the categorical variable. Now let's look at a case where you have a continuous variable like age and you want to group it as a categorical variable. So in our case, we group it in this form. You can do a grouping based on your own interest and the context in which you are conducting the study or the population that you are really interested in. Okay, so the same way, you first search for age, right? Is the variable name for age is P02. All right, so P02. So type recode. So recode the existing age. Then you re-categorize it. But first, let's tabulate age. We want to tabulate age to see the nature of the age variable. We clearly see here that age ranges from 0 to 120 years. So we want to categorize this age in a form that will be suitable for our analysis. So we code the age as those from below 1 year to 14 years as below 15 years. So from 0 to 14 years should be coded as 1. You can give it any code, which is below 15 years. 15 to 24 years also coded as 2, and it's labeled as 15 to 24. Make sure you introduce the inverted commas. So we continued in that fashion to those who are greater than 75. Remember, if you are interested in a age category where you conclude at those above 60, depending on your analysis, you can also conclude there and make those above 60 as the final category. In our case, we make those above 75 as our final category. You can clearly see here that we represent the final range as dots. Dots in research means a large number, which could depend on the nature of the variable, could be 9, could be 99, could be 999, could be 9,900 or 99,000. So it represents a large number in that category. So yes, so any number above 75, that is what it means, right? Should be coded as 8. Then when you are done with all the category, we generate the new name for age. In our case, we generate it as age cat. After that, you enter. When you enter, you check, you tabulate to make sure that it has properly been categorized. Clearly, we can see here that it has properly been categorized. So this is one way you can approach it. You can also use the command window. So to use the command window, you first go to data and you go to create or change data, go to other variable transformation command, then go to recode. When you do that, you see a Recode dialog box appear. Here, we are going to just use marital status as our example. Here, the variable name we use here is the existing name for marital status. So we put in the variable name here. We type in the same command as we did for the marital status. But with the command window, it gives you a demonstration on how to type in your command. So you can clearly see the demonstration here as a guide to type in your command. So it's also quite useful to use the command window if you're not comfortable with the typing out the command. But all the same, you get your command being reported for you, and you can save it in your do file. So after you type in all the command, you click submit, but you also want to make sure that you generate a new name for it, or you can replace it with the existing variable, which is not really advisable. I advise you to generate a new name. So here we type a name which is different from what I've already generated for my first example. So we submit this one. We can clearly see that marital status has been generated. Marital status has been generated. So these are the two ways to generate data. If you find this helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section should we cover more topics. Until next time, keep your data tidy and your questions sharp.